Welcome to our channel. Today's video we sharing 15 tips for dating a man with kids. Is it worthwhile to date a man who has a child? Of course. You can make the relationship work for all parties involved if you take the time to think about these 15 factors. Here are some things to keep in mind when dating a man with kids. Tip number 1. Your partner could be feeling conflicted. Your partner might be attempting to preserve a connection with you while simultaneously attempting to figure out his duty as a father, as there isn't an official manual for this. He might have days where he's feeling disoriented and impatient, and days when he knows exactly what he's doing. Even if you don't always agree with his decisions, you still need to be sympathetic and understanding. Tip number 2, you will require patience. It takes more patience to date a man with children than it does to date someone without. Before you can even speak with your partner, you'll have to wait for him to end his phone conversation or nighttime routine. Other instances, a last-minute child-related emergency may force preparations to collapse. Being understanding and adaptable is crucial if you want the relationship to succeed. Tip number 3. It's possible that you must talk to the mother. In the event that your partner shares custody of his kids, you might need to interact with the mother on a frequent basis. Even if you don't get along, it's still necessary to act civil and respectfully. Recall that she is also the child's parent and should be treated as such. Tip number 4. You must consider your own parenting objectives. You will need to think about your own parenting aspirations if you are dating a man who has children. Do you want to start a family with additional kids? Or are you content with your current family? Are you prepared to enter his child's life on a long-term or permanent basis? It's important to talk to your partner about this before things become too serious. Before you become very invested in the relationship, it's important to have a rough sense of what you want, even though the answer to this question may change. Tip number 5. There will be less time spent alone. You won't have as much alone time if you date someone who has children. You might have to give up going on dates or vacations to spend weekends with the family. And his kids are probably going to be staying the night when you do get some alone time. Sharing your space might be a significant adjustment if you're not used to it. It's critical to talk to your partner about your wants and come up with a strategy that benefits you both. Perhaps you could alternate weekends spent alone, or find opportunities to spend time alone during the work week. Make sure that whatever you decide, the two of you are comfortable with it. Tip number 6. You might need to adjust your own lifestyle. You will need to adjust your lifestyle if you are dating a man with children if you are used to staying out late and sleeping in on the weekends. You'll have to pay closer attention to curfews and bedtimes. In order to spend more time with the family, you might have to give up your weekend nights out. Tip number 7. You'll require a conflict game plan. With time, a disagreement between you and your partner's child is inevitable. Maybe they won't be receptive to you right first, or maybe there may be long-term problems. When a conflict emerges, you'll need to determine the best course of action. Will you discuss it with your partner first? Or are you going to attempt to solve it on your own? Be sure that both of you are in agreement with the decision you make. Tip number 8. It may be costly to date a man who has a child. It will be necessary to consider the financial ramifications of dating him. His obligation to pay alimony or child support could have an effect on your joint finances. Alternatively, he might be in charge and have a lot of regular costs to deal with. It implies that you might not be able to rely on your partner to be able to afford pricey date nights or trips. Together, you may decide on a spending limit that suits you both and come up with inventive but affordable date ideas. You might also like to assist with other fees or make a donation to a college fund. Discuss your comfort levels with your partner and begin to envision the future. Tip number 9. Never permit your partner to use his child as a justification. When you date someone who has children, unique conditions arise in the partnership. However, this still does not justify severe neglect, emotional abuse, or other harmful actions. It's time to have a serious conversation if your partner is putting his child's needs ahead of your own. Red flags should also be on your radar, as if he regularly cancels plans with you or prioritizes his child before you. These may be indicators of a more serious issue and an indication that the connection isn't sustainable in the long run. Tip number 10. You could feel like a third wheel at times. When you're dating someone with children for the first time, it's common to feel like a third wheel. It may take some getting used to sharing your partner with the kids because they have occupied their lives for a considerable amount of time. You'll probably find your spot in the family, though, eventually. Additionally, you might even grow close to your partner's kids. All you need to do is be understanding and patient at first, and things will eventually work out. Tip number 11. It could take a while for friends and family to get warm. Initially, your partner's inner circle could be very guarded. They might not know if you're a long-term partner or just a passing fancy. If they take a while to warm up to you, don't take it personally. You can tell them that even if you're not sure what's ahead, you intend to take things carefully and with consideration for their feelings. Tip number 12. Perhaps more stability. Compared to someone without children, your partner might be more prepared for a long-term commitment because he already has children. He's probably had more life experience and is therefore better suited to deal with the highs and lows of a committed relationship. While this does not guarantee that he won't face difficulties, it does increase the likelihood that he will remain composed and steady under pressure. Tip number 13. Your partner probably hasn't been romantic in a while. While every man is unique, it's possible that your partner hasn't gone on many dates or been particularly amorous in a while. He's undoubtedly trying to be a decent father and provide for his children. So don't be surprised if he struggles with romance at first. It may take some time for him to regain his footing, so taking the initiative could be beneficial. It does not require you to be extremely aggressive, but a little initiative can go a long way. Tip number 14. He may not share much about his children at first. Initially, your partner may not offer much information about his children. He may be concerned that you are not prepared to hear about his struggles or that you would not comprehend. However, as your relationship continues, he is likely to become more open. Just be patient and compassionate, and don't press him to divulge more than he feels comfortable with. Tip number 15. He will need some time to adjust. Dating someone who has children can be a significant adjustment for both of you. It's crucial to be patient and understanding while he adjusts to this new chapter in his life. There will undoubtedly be some challenges along the way, but as long as you are both open and honest with one another, you should be able to overcome them. Final thoughts. If you're dating a man with a child, you'll have a lot of fantastic experiences. There is more love to be had and shared, resulting in a happy and fulfilled partnership. However, it is also critical to be aware of the drawbacks of this type of arrangement and take steps to avoid feeling excluded. If you feel envious or insecure, discuss it with your partner. With open communication and a little effort, you can achieve anything. Thank you for watching.